Bram, and today I will talk a bit more about the first Reaper script I made, which is a project setup script. This was mostly to start dabbling into Reaper, what's possible, learning Lua as well for future projects. So this is the base starter script I made. So how it works is you have this button where you can select parent effects. So imagine these are effects that you want on every parent track or whatever you can you would want them on. So depending on which one you want, makes no sense, but let's do a decapitator. It makes a temporary track, it selects it, and then it remembers it. So that way, for every user that will use it, there's no way of having issues with strings not matching and stuff. If you want a reverb track, you can also do that. You select which reverb that you want. So let's take little plate. Depending on which plugin you load in, it takes longer because it loads it in on the track. And if that takes a while, it will take longer than, for example, if you load in a RIA limit. For simplicity, let's say we want 4 tracks. Then you click apply, and then you get your screen that can let you configure your tracks. So let's say we want an ambience. It's always nice to give a color. And then you can say, okay, well, I want the decapitator on my ambience. Again, makes little sense, but hey, you could send it to your reverb track and you can say, I want 4 child tracks off that parent track. Same for this. Different color, and then you can say, but on top of the decapitator on my voice, I want a compression. Let's put a random compressor on there. You want it to the reverb track, amount of child tracks, and so on and so on. So this is how it works. I'll show you with these first 2 tracks. Also, you can clear the project. So if you have a current project, you can clear it before you make your own. And then you can create this one. So what it does, it will create the tracks, it will put on your parent effects if you have any other local effects, because you see at voice, I didn't click apply parent effects, so this one doesn't have the decapitator. And they all get sent to your reverb track as well. You can just keep pushing this button. Let me just apply this one now. Create it again, and it will just make another one below it. It's not always, in this case, it's not very useful, but imagine you want a lot of copies in a certain project, you know, it could be possible. Then this is also possible. You can clear it again. And that's how the main script worked. So I talked to some people about it, and they said, well, why don't you just use templates? Which is a very valid point as well. So you could also see it as some kind of template generator. This is for something you want to set up quickly or you need often, and if you just made it, like putting a limiter on every parent track, for example, make it into a template, and then you have some kind of template generator. If it's ever useful to just create multiple duplicates like I showed you, it's also possible for this. Or if you need this amount of tracks, and they all need this amount of child tracks, let's just do some, and they all have to go to the reverb. This will go faster than manually trying to do that as well. So that's it. It was meant to be a script that is usable and also easily adaptable based on the needs of a production.